Hello there, Johnny Daniel, your Stampin' Up! Independent Demonstrator. It is Wednesday, 7 o'clock. You doing good? I really hope so. So, I'm going to set up the computer and we'll get going on tonight's adventure. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get this done. Let's see. Why is it not doing what I need it to? 1 second. As always, 1 second. There we go. I hit the wrong button. Sorry about that. All right, so couple things to note. All right, while I have you, and before I flip around, couple things to note. The bonus, club order bonus, finishes tomorrow night. That's 1. 2, tomorrow is free shipping for any order 75 or more. However, I will be grouping an order, so if you're not at 75, contact me directly, okay? Let's see, I'm finishing up for the Christmas party on Saturday. And forgive the hair not being perfect and tied back, but I did go running, so I behaved. But Christmas party is from 4 to 7 on Saturday. Please come out anytime in there. Don't have to stay the whole time. I won't be doing prizes because I'm doing goodie bags for the first 8 people that RSVP or come. So RSVP first and then come. So if I don't fill all 8 with RSVPs, if you understand what I'm saying. So I will be at Farmers Market Saturday morning. That is the absolute last time to get your stocking stuffers and that kind of stuff. So just absolute last. Why do I say that way? Because the craft fair last weekend, Saturday in Landers, I had people like, well, I'll just wait and see. And I'm like, how long are you going to wait? This is the last time I'm up on that end. And oh my gosh. So, alrighty. So let's see what else is going on. So free shipping tomorrow. And then the club is finishing. So I'll be posting that tomorrow night after about 8 o'clock. So let's see what else. I think that's about it. I hope that's it. Last chance is still going on. Personal last chance is still going on. And I think that's about all I have. Thankfully, right? There will be some changes coming during the new year, but until then, we're good. No problem. So, all right, so I'm going to flip you around and we're going to get to creating because we have a bunch to do. Yay! So, hold on a sec. Let me flip. I thought I pushed the button. There we go. It's always interesting, isn't it? So, we're going to move that. We're going to get this up in here. And we're going to hope and pray everything works exactly how it's supposed to. I think pretty good, huh? We're going to slide this over just a tiny bit. And then we'll be set and ready to go. Okay. So, for tonight, I'm going to be making a version of this. Not exactly the same thing. The directions will be for this card. Okay. And honestly, the variations you're going to be able to keep up with, I promise. So, not a problem for that. I don't have a featured product tonight. So, we're going to go right into this. And if you need the host code for the club order bonus, go on to stampingwithjohnny.com and go under, I think it's ordering, and go to club order bonus. And it's all right there. And you can link over. So, all right. So, we're going to do this and we're going to get to going. Okay. So, for tonight, I have a thick basic white piece of cardstock. This is cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and this is scored on the 8.5 inch side. on the 8.5 inch side. This is scored at 4 1/4. Okay. And I just realized I shouldn't have folded that because I got to glue the mats and stuff on. No, there's no mats tonight, right? I was testing you. So, all right. So for tonight, you ready? Okay. I'm just teasing you. All right. So for tonight, we got to cut a notch out of this. Okay. We got to cut our circle out of this and then cut it in half so we have our framing for this. And then this dark is going to actually be our deer. Okay. So instead of a tree, we're going to do a deer. Okay. So I hope you're okay with that. I know changes, but you know, I had to do a little bit different. Come on. So, and then I've also got my embossing here. I've got my Versamark. I've got my gold embossing powder. Gold. I can never see the little tiny labels when I'm trying to grab quick. So, you know, grab a Sharpie and throw it on there. And then I've got my tray. So there we go. All right. So, oh, and then I've got some of this nylon monofilament. So this is jewelry wire. This is 8-pound test, but honestly, grab some fishing line. It works just the same and it's probably cheaper. So we're going to punch that later so I don't have to keep track of little parts. Here's the big thing, okay? So when you pick your piece that floats, okay? So this is our smallest circle. So you're going to pick something that should be bigger than that, which means I got to pull more stuff out because that's not big enough, okay? So I guess we're going to the scallop side because the plain ones aren't big enough. It's just that simple. So what you want is you want a small, a medium, and a large. So the small one has to go around whatever you pick. The middle one is going to be where you cut on the white, and the largest one is going to be the frame for the gold on the outside. I'll say that again as I do it. It'll make more sense, I promise. But in the meantime, I gotta find a better size. It's just that simple, okay? So we want as big as we can get. That's as big as we can get. Okay, so we want as big as we can get because we need it to float, right? It's not going to do anything if it touches both sides. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, so let's see. Is this bigger? That is a little bit bigger. So that can go there. That can go there. So much fun trying to figure it out on the fly, huh? But I changed the little accent piece and I was like, oh, shoot. So let me see if there's a smaller punch. Not really, huh? All right. I was trying because I didn't like that tree. I'll be honest with you. So, alrighty. We're just going to make it work. So, if I have that one's going to be bigger, just slightly, and it's just going to be close and it'll be just fine. No problem. Okay? So we're going to put all these away so we don't get confused wherever the thing went. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm going to move my dies. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my platform because we got to have that, right? And we have dies. Yes. Okay. So now I am going to grab my card base. Okay. And I'm going to stick it off to the side. And actually, I'm going to try to line up that line with the edge. Why? So hopefully I will have a line where my line is instead of having it halfway through. Okay, so for this one, I need the middle one. Now we got to think about, are we putting words on here? Yes. So I'm going to put, my reindeer is going to be flying as if it's going on the sled, right? So we're going to cut this out here. If I don't move it, that's the kicker, huh? You want to make sure that your die is less than half of the cutout, because when you do the gold and you cut it in half, you want it to cover the entire thing. Okay, so we're going to stick this down here and we're going to crank this through. No, that moved. Wait. Okay, I'm going to hold that, make sure it doesn't move anymore. Okay, so we've got that going. So we don't need this little piece. All right, so that's done. Now, so you see how the score line, there's a little shadow of a line right there. That's okay. We can deal with that. I just didn't want it like in the middle back here. So this is our cutout of where our reindeer is going. Okay. So now what I got to do is I'm going to grab, this is the gold out of the rose gold 6x6 packet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do, can we do? Like, oh my goodness, no, it's not working. All right, well, our reindeer may not float too much. It's okay though. Okay. So let's see here. Let's see what's close. This one. Okay. Go that way. All right. So now we're going to stick this down here and hope and pray that it's centered. Let's see. Is it? I think so. And we're going to stick this on here. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do, let's crank that through. Okay. And if I did this correctly, which I should have, should be fine. We should have a nice little framed gold piece. And I know if Lisa was on here, she'd be having a fit because I cut it in the middle, but it's okay. And there's our center. Okay. So now I'm going to do this. All right. And we're going to put this down. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is go, does that fit? Yes, just barely. Yes. So I'm going to fold this in half so I know where to cut, because I can't mess up. I don't have a lot of leeway on this. So we're gonna cut this in half here, and we're gonna cut this in half here because we need a front and a back for our framing. Okay, so there's that. Okay. And then we're not going to glue this on just yet. What we are going to do, perfect. What we are going to do is we're going to grab some of this filament, and I'm just going to cut about 6 inches or so off. Keep track of it because it's clear, so it's hard to see. Of course, right? And let's see here. Before I put this away, I've trained myself, before you put it away, tape the top of it, because otherwise trying to find the end is really, really hard. So, all right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab here and I'm going to put this right in the little bit right of the middle, because I need to have room for that reindeer to spin. Okay. So I'm going to grab a couple glue dots. And where was I putting this? Right about here. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to put my glue dot right on the edge there. And I'm going to stick that down. Okay. And then I'm going to grab here and I'm going to go right on the edge down here. And I'm going to pull it tight, but not crazy tight that it pops the other one. And I didn't like how that one went over, so I'm going to put one more down. You want it to cover the entire bit of filament. So there we go. Much better. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, so I'm going to stick these down, make sure, and I'm going to trim the edges as close as I can to that glue dot because it's got to sit under that frame. Okay. So now I'm going to grab a couple more glue dots and we're going to stick these. We've got the edges here, but I don't have the middle situated. So we're going to do like two more, or one more rather, two total, sorry. So here's this. That kind of went over. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick this down to frame it. If the glue dots are sticking out, we're just going to make it work and it's okay. So like this one is sticking out a little, so I'm just gonna roll it a bit. Ow, that filament got me. But we're gonna roll it down a little. And then I'm gonna stick this up like that and it'll be just fine. That hurt. That stuck right underneath my nail. If it's not big enough, you can like cut an extra one, do some different framing, cut a mat, you know, there's all kinds of things you can do with it, but for now, I'm just going to kind of stretch it and make it happen. And then I'm going to glue down where it's puckering because I pulled it a little bit, so now it's like puckering. So there's that. And then right there, I've got one more spot that's kind of sticking up for me. It happens sometimes. So there's that. Okay, so that's my front. And then I have to do the back as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the glue dots where I want the framing to go, not on the frame, because I'm not for certain that that's going to stick there. Not going to stick out, shall we say. So there's that. And we're going to stick one right on the edge there and kind of roll it on itself because I want it to be thin enough because I know I have to pull this and make it go where I need it to, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick this right on the edge and we're going to hope and pray that everything works just perfectly. So, okay, so there's our framing. Not too bad, huh? So now is the easy part. Now we're going to punch 2 reindeer. Okay, so there's 1. There's 2. Okay. And what we're going to do, we only need 1 pair of antlers. And then I don't know where the noses went, but so be it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're not going to have them back to back this way because I need them to line up this way. One of them will be technically backwards. Okay. So we're going to do it that way because when it's like this, then it'll work. Okay. So now I got to stick the antlers on first, and then we're going to stick the whole entire body together. So we are gonna, this will be the back side one. So we are going to make sure they're pointing the right way. And we're gonna stick one down in here. And we're going to stick the other one right there. Okay. So now when I flip it over, it should look right. Okay. So now I'm going to do a couple more glue dots, and I'm going to put the other one on top of it after I put the string in between. Okay. So when you put the string in between, you want to make sure that at least one glue dot goes through that string. So I'm going to put like 2 right in the middle here to make sure that it hits correctly. And if not, we can put another one in there. It'll be fine. So we're going to put one more in that middle. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this down in here, and I'm going to go, yep, that needs to go right there. Okay. And then I'm going to push this underneath. Make sure that the head and all that is facing the correct way. And we're going to line this guy up. And, all right. So there's my reindeer. And we got to put our red nose on for Rudolph, right? We just have to. And then last but not least, we're going to do some sentiment or some words. Do we need them? Probably, right? So, all right. So there's our reindeer. And let's see. What kind of sentiment? Are we done with Merry Christmas or not? I don't know. So, let's grab our peaceful deer. And let's see what fits down there, right? I'm looking at this and going, yeah, not so much. So let's do something like this instead. 'Tis the season, be jolly, have a merry little Christmas. Let's see. I'm thinking, may the season be filled with peace and joy. So let's move some stuff out of the way. So we're going to stamp this on here and emboss it real quick. And then we'll be all set to go. Okay. So now I'm going to grab my Versamark. Before I stamp it, I'm going to take my lid off of my gold. So I'm that much quicker, right? So we're going to do, may the season be filled with peace and joy. You're not going to see it. It's okay. And then we're going to try not to get the embossing powder up where you glued, just so it doesn't stick too much. So there's that. And then we're going to heat it once I put this lid back on. And move this out of the way. So, all right, so we're going to heat this real quick. And then our card will be done. So it's better to have a smaller accent, but I didn't like that tree from before. And punches honestly are easier because you can flip them around and the back side's easier. But all right, so that is our card. So I hope you enjoyed. Follow me. Ooh, that bee was not done. I didn't have it heated all the way. Okay, let that be a lesson to you. Make sure to heat it all the way. I just put my finger across it. So this card will not be going in the rack. But I still gotta finish. That's too bad. That was cute. That's what happens when you're impatient though, huh? Alright, so So the tutorial for tomorrow will be basically the same card, and we will have it for this one. Okay. Let's see. And of course, put bling and stuff, but since I smudged it, I don't want to put any more on it. Ugh. But, all right, so stampingwithjohnny.com, 9:30 tomorrow morning. The tutorial will be up for this one. Same premise on this one. And I hope you enjoy. Thanks so much. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.